All right, guys, good morning. We're going to do 1.7, solving linear systems using matrices. And matrices is a new idea for us, but really we're doing the same thing. We've already learned how to solve a system of equations, and we do that by graphing, or we can use algebra to solve that. So we're going to, first of all, understand what a matrix is. A matrix is a rectangular array of values. To use a matrix to represent a linear system of equations, the equations must be written in standard form, which means it must go x plus the y equals a value. So we have to make sure they're in standard form. Okay, we're going to really look at augmented matrices because we're going to set them equal to the answer. But a coefficient matrix just shows the coefficients of the variables. So really this is the key idea. Anytime you see a number that's in front of a variable, we're going to, oh man, my pens are driving me nuts this morning. We're going to just write that coefficient. So anytime that you have a number in front of the variable, like I do here, right? Number in front of the variable, number in front of the variable, I'm just going to put a 2 and a 3, okay? So all we're doing is putting those values. An augmented matrix actually includes the answer as well. Notice we don't put an equal sign, and really you don't even put this dashed line. It just shows that that's what the solution is, but we don't need to really worry about that. When we talk about the dimensions of a matrix, rows times columns. Okay, so the rows always go down, okay, and the columns always go across. So rows go down, columns go across. So if we're writing the matrix from this equation right here, it would be 2, 3, 1, 4. This is really important. You take the sign that's in front of the variable. So this would be a -2 and then a 10. So if I had this example right here, we're going to see if this can work. My pen has really been acting up here this morning. So I have, come on, God, what is going on with this? It's just not writing for me. 3y, okay, equals 1 minus, that's just not the way that this is supposed to be. Well, this is really 1 minus 2x. Okay, really sloppy. I have to put this in standard form, so I'm going to have to add 2x to both sides. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. So this is going to give me 2x plus 3y is equal to, and this is really going to get tough here, is equal to 1. I don't know, is equal to 1. So look, when you put a 1 here, okay, all I'm going to do to fill in my matrix is put a 2, a 3, and then the 1, okay? So that's all I have to do to write my matrix. So we're going to look, I'm going to show you how to solve these by setting up matrices. So we also can represent a matrix of equations of 3 variables, okay? So when we have 3 variables, just understand that it's always going to go the x value, the y value, the z value, and then whatever the answer is, okay? Man, I cannot write with this pen. The answer goes right here. So if I'm writing this matrix, understand that the way they have this set up is if there is no variable, we let it equal a 0. So I'm going to put, for this first equation, a 1 for the x, maybe, if my pen lets me, a 1 for the x, a 2 for the y, a 0 for the z, and a 2 for the answer. For this matrix right here, I'm going to put a 1 for the x, don't forget the sign, a -1, -1 for the y value. Come on now. Sorry, guys. This pen is, I haven't used it since last year. There we go. -1, and then a 3 for the z, and a 5 for my answer. Okay. And then the last one would be a 2, a 1, a -4, and a 10. Notice on these two problems right here, I have the negative, if my pen would work, and I have the negative because there's a minus sign here. So when you're making your matrices, make sure that you take the sign with it. Okay, so what is the solution of the system of the linear equation? So we have this problem right here, and we could definitely go into Desmos and graph this and find where the two lines intersect. But instead, we're going to set up a matrix here. So we're going to set up a matrix, which is a 3, a -2, a 25, a 2, a 5, and a 4. This is a -2. There we go. I'm going to take this matrix and I'm going to put this on your Google Classroom with this Desmos matrix calculator. We're going to type this matrix in. So again, what size of matrix is this? This is a 2 by 3, right? This is a 2 by 3. And look, you can, when you go to this matrix, if you that kind of messes you up, you can always just look at it. Like if I screwed up and actually do a 3 by 2, it's not going to fit, right? So this is a 2 by 3. And all I'm going to do is enter in the coefficients, which was 3, -2, 25. So 3, -2, 25. And then I'm going to put uh, the bottom one, which was 2, 5, and 4. So 2, 5, and 4. Okay. Now, when I'm done with that, okay, I can hit enter. It'll get out of that. So now it gives me this little space right here. I am labeling or naming this matrix A. I'm going to hit this RREF button, which stands for row reduced echelon form. And I'm going to put in matrix A because I named this matrix A. Now you'll see over here that it gives me the matrix 1, 0, 7, 0, 1, -2. Okay. What that is my answer. Remember, this is my X column right here. This is my Y value, and this is my answer. So this is saying X equals 7. Here, that's my X column, and it's 0. This is my Y. This is saying Y equals -2. So when we come back to this, and I punch this into um, Desmos, it gives me a 1, a 0, a 7, a 0, a 1, and a -2. Man, oh man alive. And a -2. So what that means is my X is equal to 7, and my Y is equal to -2. Okay, so -2. I don't know why it won't let me put a negative, but it won't. So if I were to graph this on just a regular Desmos calculator, my graphing calculator, if I were to graph this original problem, which was 3x minus 2y, so if I did 3x minus 2y equals 25, and I graphed the other line, which was 2x plus 5y equals 4. Okay, look where they intersect. They intersect at the ordered pair 7, -2. So it's another way for us to get answers, and it's an answer of a linear system, and it's really just introducing this. So again, if I wanted to set up this matrix right here, okay, I would do 3, -4, -18. This would be my first top of the matrix. And then I would do -4, 8, and 32. And all I do is put this into my matrix calculator. So when I go back to this, I can clear this out. I can put new matrix and I can enter in again a 2 by 3 and kind of just got to go back, and it's just using the technology here. Okay, so it was 3, -4, 18, 3, -4, 18, and then the other line was -4, 8, 32. -4, 8, and 32. -4, 8, and 32. And again, I click, oh, no, was it -32 or 32? 32. Make sure it was positive 32. And it was. Okay, so I click on done. I'm going to click row reduced echelon form. I'm going to put in matrix A, and my answer here is X equals 34, Y equals 21. Again, when I get this answer right here of 1, 0, 1, 0, 34. This is telling me that I have an answer of 34. Pens are driving me nuts. Okay, so the answer is 34, and then I had a 0, 1, 0, 1. If you just look up here, 0, 1, 21. So y is equal to 21. So as you do these, and again, it's just using technology and really understanding, um, how to do that. And when we talk about, so here's reduced row echelon form, where it gives me my answer. When you have this solution, and this is important, I would write this down. You can pause it and write this down, where you got 1, 0, 0. Again, this is my x, my y, my z, and this is always my answer. So I'd have x is equal to whatever this value is, y is equal to whatever my solution is, and z is equal to this value right here. Okay, so if we look at this and say, what is the solution of the system of equations? First, I have to set this system up. So I have a 1, a -1. I would have to subtract z. So this x minus y equals z. I would have to subtract z, and it would give me x minus y minus z equals 0. So that matrix would be 1, -1, -1, 0. The second matrix would be 4, 3, 2, 6. The third matrix would be 2, -1, -3, and 13. And then I would go to my Desmos matrix calculator. Now this is a different size, right? This was a different size, so I'm going to enter in a new matrix, and this was what? 3 rows by 4 columns. I'm going to enter in every single one of these values. So I'm going to enter in 1, -1, -1, 0, 1, -1, 1, nope, -1, -1, 0. I'm going to go down to the next line, and I'm going to enter in 4, 3, 2, 6. So 4, 3, 2, 6. I'm going to enter in the next line, which is 2, -1, -3, 13. So 2, -1, -3, 13, 2, -1, -3, 13. And I'm going to go ahead and enter in row reduced echelon form of this matrix, and it's going to give me my answer right here. If I want the fractional answer, I can just convert that, and it'd be -1 over 13, 84 over 13, and -85 over 13. So just make sure when you're entering this stuff, you enter it correctly. This does all the math for you, um, and it will make it very easy to do. Okay, so make sure that you know how to press the buttons and can use the technology here. So again, what is the solution to the system? We do the same exact thing, same exact setup. Um, Making sure that you know how to enter these in. There is some special cases where you get infinite solutions or no solutions. If at the end of a matrix, so say it gives you an answer that looks something like this. Let's see if I can enter this in there. 0, 0, 4. And then it gives you a 0, 1, 2, 6. And then it gives you a 0, 0, 0, 7. Okay. If there is no variable here, this means there's no solution. Okay. So if there should be a 1 here, right? If that happens, then that means there's no solution when we're doing this. We'll talk more about this when I get back. There is an assignment here in Savast that has, like, I don't know, let's see. How many problems does this have? So a few problems here, but again, all they want you to do is tell you what's wrong with this. So if you see this 2, 9, 5 that they put in the augmented matrix, this should be a 2, -9. So they messed up the -9. So just looking through some of these problems and kind of talking through, says what is a system of two equations with two unknowns? So they want you to write the answer. You know the answer. The answer is 2 and -3. So they want you to plug in 2 for x and -3 for y and see which one works. Okay. This one, all they want you to do is set up or solve the system using matrices. So you would have to set up a matrix. You would do 1, 7, 53, 2, -1, 1. So again, just pay attention to your signs. Um, I think this is a pretty simple homework. I'm hoping you're able to follow that using matrices. Work with one another if you're struggling. I'll be back on Thursday, and we'll definitely talk about this. But I think you should have a really good idea. I'll put this Desmos matrix calculator up on Google Classroom, and along with assigning this, I'll put the video up as well, so you guys can watch the video, take notes, and attempt the homework assignment. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. Please respect the sub, and I will see you guys on Thursday.